Support.
The maestro, please.
Alright, now this is what I'm talking about. This is how we start September. This'll be for the week of
September 3rd, 2022.
On this day in music back in 1931, Bing Crosby would have his solo radio debut on the show 15 Minutes with Bing Crosby. Despite the show only going for 2 months, it would make him a national hit and start the legend that we now know as Bing Crosby. Now the question is, are we going to get one more classical album to talk about before the summer ends?
Don't mean a thing if it ain't got that swing.
Another one from the Blue Note Classic Vinyl Series, 1966's Adam's Apple by Wayne Shorter. His group this time would have Joe Chambers on drums, Reggie Workman on bass, and most notably, Herbie Hancock on piano.
Singing.
I love rock and roll.
Studio album number 7 from Brendan Urie and Panic at the Disco. The notable thing about this one is the entirety of the album was actually recorded on an 8-track tape machine to capture, and I quote, a retro vibe. Album number 9 from heavy metal band Five Finger Death Punch, and oddly enough, this is the first album since 2007's The Way of the Fist to not feature Jason Hook on guitar. Andy James replaced him back in 2020.
I'll bring you to life. I'm a holy fuck.
Color me surprised. I knew Demi Lovato was coming out with a new album, but I did not know it was going to be a rock album. And she works actually very well as a rock vocalist. I suggest listening through it. I imagine we got a couple more R&B and hip-hop albums to talk about before the summer ends.
Finally, enough love. Enough love.
A huge remix album from the legend herself, Madonna, in 2 editions. There's the abridged version, which is 16 tracks, simply called Finally Enough Love. And then we have Finally Enough Love 50 number 1, because it's Madonna, and of course she has 50 number 1s, spanning her whole career, I might add.
And now I need some help from the maestro, please.
You know it's not the same as it was.
Now that it's back up here, we can actually mention that it won Album of the Year at the MTV Video Music Awards last month.
I think I'm gonna stay right here tonight, 'cause I could be dangerous. 'Cause I could be dangerous.
Okay, now if it's back up here, we're just gonna play the album and then move on. Let's talk about the other song that has a bunch of other songs in it. Church Girl has a sample of Center Thy Will by the Clark Sisters, interpolates Where They At by DJ Jimmy, interpolates Think About It by Lynn Collins, and has elements of the drag rap Trigger Man by the Showboys.
No more cold Decembers, lonely cold December.
While we're on the topic of samples, the song Alone has a sample from UNI, performed by Ed Sheeran.
Y ahora toca un verano sin ti. La estoy pasando bien, no te voy.
You know, it's just a matter of time. I imagine we're gonna do a pop analysis of a Bad Bunny song eventually. Speaking of pop analysis, I released a new one on Wednesday. When you're done watching this, you should go watch that.
And now I need some help from the maestro, please.